Hello, and thanks for stopping by. Let's talk about culture, specifically the organizational culture or business culture. This is a very hot topic at the moment. Businesses and leaders today understand the importance of having culture in their organization. The challenge for a lot of business is actually not the fact that they want culture, it is actually the strategy that they need to build to have culture, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to talk about today is there is actually a template you can use to understand what goes into an effective, thriving culture. So let me introduce to you Meras, the pillars of a thriving organization. Meras is an acronym for the 5 pillars that you can put into your organization as a strategy to create a thriving individual, which will create a thriving organization. So what we now understand about culture is that it is about people. So the strategy should be the strategy around people. Now, we understand through science, specifically positive psychology, what it takes to have individuals in a space of well-being and in a flourishing human functionality, if I may. What we now know is that there's 5 elements that people need in their lives in order to say they are in a place of flourishing. The first one is meaning. Meaning is this concept that all human beings want to have. And in businesses, meaning translates to purpose. What is the purpose of me working in your business? What is the purpose of your business? And if we can talk about purpose and have a way of articulating that, not only to our people, but to our customers, purpose then relates to values, which then relates to how we can get the right people to work for us, and also the right people who will buy from us and advocate for us. So meaning is important as one strategy or one pillar for your culture. The next pillar to have is engagement. Engagement is what you want to have with all the people that work for you, that work in your team, even yourself. Engagement is that concept that all human beings want. We want to get into this activity that actually challenges us but not overwhelms us. So once we can create this space for ourselves, and we can do that, there are strategies to do that, we can then have people who are able to bring their strengths and therefore their passions into their work. And what engagement does is it removes Groundhog Day, where you don't feel like turning up to work because you feel like there's nothing new going to happen. We need to be challenged as human beings so we can have engagement in our day. The third pillar that we want to have is positive relationships. Now we know this is important because relationships are actually what makes human beings human beings. We are animals that want to be sociable. So we need to create positive relationships into our work. And this is either through building up people's emotional intelligence or social intelligence, or creating the space to have that kind of relationship where people have trust. And an important one in businesses today is what I call a psychological safety net. If you can create this in your environment, then relationships will become positive. The fourth pillar that you want to have in your elements of a thriving organization is achievements. This is an important one. Every day, all human beings need to see that they've taken a step forward or upwards. And this is one of those other tools that help remove Groundhog Day. If I know that I'm moving forward, that I'm achieving something, and that I'm recognizing that not just in other people, but in myself specifically, then I'm going to be keen about turning up to work every day. If I'm able to know that I can achieve, not based on anyone else's achievement, so I'm not comparing my achievement to somebody else, I'm actually comparing it to my own achievement from the previous steps I've taken, then that gives me that sense, that personal sense of achievement and accomplishment. That's the fourth pillar. And the last pillar we need in our strategy for an effective culture is a positive state of mind and emotion. This is the understanding that all human beings are emotional animals. We are driven a lot of the times by our emotions. But what we understand also is that we control our emotions. So a positive, thriving culture is a place where we encourage people to bring their positive state of mind, curiosity, sense of wonder, and that will then bring in a positive emotion, happiness, satisfaction, and so forth. If we can create that kind of environment where people have purpose in their day, where people have engagement, the ability to create flow and be challenged, where people will gladly and proactively be part of a team and then have their achievements celebrated daily and then bring in their positive emotions, we then have a template or a strategy, wow, that's a hard word, a strategy around making our people thrive. And what we understand is that once our people thrive, then our organizations will thrive. So what do you think? How many of these 5 can you say you have a strategy for in your business? If you want to continue this conversation, then feel free to connect. Stay tuned because I will break down these 5 elements in upcoming videos to share with you to see how you're actually implementing it or if it makes sense to you whatsoever. Otherwise, take care. We'll see you next time.